All right, round 2. Joe with the Rayquaza Raikou Lost Box. Probably, I would guess, pretty similar to what Pablo ran recently at San Diego. I think Pablo's list was really good. I'm sure some other people looked at that. Joe might have been one of those people who looked at that and was like, okay, this is kind of cool what Pablo did here. And then Demetrius with the Lugia deck. I do think this is favored. No, it's probably 50-50. I was going to say, I think it's favored for the Rayquaza Raikou build, but it's probably like close to 50-50 to be honest. Maybe slightly favored if it's a double Raikou build, which I'm just going to go ahead and assume it's a double Raikou build, but it might not be. We'll find out on that. Looks like Joe won the coin flip, but unfortunately opened Sableye, so that's not going to be great, but does have a VIP pass and triple quick ball, so you can't complain too much about that. Is going to open up with the quick ball here. I assume the reason Joe would be doing this is because Joe wants to see more basic Pokemon off the potential Greninja grab here. Unfortunately for Joe, Greninja is prized. So for the kind of hand that Joe has, Greninja being prized is kind of unfortunate, to be honest. Checking the energy, super important. 0 energy prized here for Joe. Taking the notes, you love to see it. And I'm sure going to do a little bit of a check of the Pokemon as well. Something also very important to check out. And I'm sure, yeah, Joe's going to be a little bit disappointed here when they realize Greninja is prized. And if they are kind of following the build that Pablo is playing, which the more I see from the list, it looks more and more similar to the build that Pablo ran at San Diego. Although I think I saw second air balloon in there. I got to be tripping on that because second air balloon sounds awful. No, there's a heavy ball in there as well, though. So has the heavy ball. It's something that Pablo didn't run. So yeah, pretty slow turn 1 here from Joe. Has the VIP pass, but like not going to be too explosive of a start because the Greninja's prize. Getting Greninja out here would have been insanely good. It actually made me kind of question Joe's choice there to actually, and actually the more I think about it, the more I dislike this energy discard here from Joe. I think Joe probably should have quick balled a quick ball instead. Because when you quick ball away the energy, if you go get Greninja and then use Greninja and then don't find a way to retreat your Sableye into the Comfey, you have to air balloon your Sableye to get it to the Comfey, which you'd rather hard retreat the Sableye and save the air balloon for a Comfey. So actually, I don't like that sequence there from Joe, to be honest. And I think getting Manaphy as a priority in this matchup is pretty important. Most people are playing the Raikou right now, so I think you want to prioritize Manaphy until you figure out if your opponent does or does not play the Raikou. We even see the Raikou in the opening hand here from Demetrius. So I'm not sure about the Guru grab here. There's nothing really to protect in your hand here from Joe if you get Marnied. So Guru's important in the matchup or against decks against Marnie, so you can like protect a card by Guruing it on top and guaranteeing drawing it. But there's nothing in this hand to protect here from Joe. And here we see the retreat with the energy. But if you had Greninja in play as well, this energy would get eaten up by the Greninja 100%. And then how do you retreat the Sableye without the air balloon if you don't draw anything off the Greninja? You don't. So then you have to put the air balloon on the Sableye, which sucks. So I think that was definitely a misplay from Joe to quick ball away the energy. I think Joe should have quick balled away a quick ball in that opening hand for sure. And okay, here we go. Guru on top. So Joe already getting aggressive with, I don't know how I feel about this, getting aggressive with the Guru protect route where you use Guru to kind of protect cards. So by doing it like this, though, it does kind of work for Joe in this instance. So if you do that as Joe, like what Joe just did here, if you put the quick ball on top, you're like, okay, when I use this Comfey here, unless the other card is worse than quick ball, which is like not going to happen, I lost on the quick ball every time, which is like okay, but I don't like doing that in this scenario because usually with the Guru, that extra card digging can be beneficial to like go find another VIP pass or something like that. So now you're just seeing less cards on the turn. So now Joe saw -1 cards this turn, where it would have been nice for Joe to see +1 cards, you know? So I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that from Joe there, using the Primate Wisdom before. It did work out for that Comfey for sure, because the choices was Ordinary Rod and Mirage Gate, so that's great, but... and I guess in this scenario, there's nothing that Joe's trying to protect, so you don't really care if you get Marnied. So I just don't know how I feel about that one, to be honest. I also don't like Joe not attaching the air balloon. I think Joe should definitely attach the air balloon here. Most Lugia decks are cutting back on the vacuums to like 1 or none. I think you should attach the air balloon to the bench Comfey here, knowing you'll probably draw into a switch card or a scoop up net next turn and kind of playing into that a little aggressively. If Demetrius just like only has a Marnie in hand, you usually don't want a Marnie in this. Like if Demetrius actually doesn't want a Marnie this turn because Joe didn't really do too much on their turn, so you don't really want a Marnie here as Demetrius, but you also want to make sure you set up for a good turn too. So if Demetrius only has Marnie as a draw supporter, they're gonna play the Marnie no matter what. So I would have still played around it, I think. Snorlax prioritize here from Demetrius. Pretty good if Joe doesn't play Snorlax themselves. Yeah, the Snorlax is actually pretty good into the Ray build because that's like a pretty big commitment to deal with it. And then your follow-up is not quite as explosive as something like the Kyogre deck. And there's the Marnie. So the Air Balloon in play, like I'm saying, Air Balloon in play would have been nice. And Demetrius doesn't want to be like, well, I'm not going to play a draw supporter this turn. I'll just play Marnie next turn and hope to get a way to discard my Archeops and get the Lugia VSTAR. Demetrius is like, I want to play a draw supporter this turn and play a draw supporter next turn to increase my odds of pulling that play off. So yeah, don't like that. Like once again, that choice from Joe kind of coming back to bite him by not putting the Air Balloon in play. Would like to see the Air Balloon in play. And then like I said, the Guru play for there from Joe I think was also questionable. Like the Primate Wisdom there. It did, like I said, did work out. Just because something worked out doesn't mean it was right. Get rid of the Cram. And also for Joe on this turn, it's actually kind of weird. If Joe's not going to one-hit KO this Luminion, I don't mind Joe not attacking for turn, to be honest. Ooh, gets rid of the Manaphy. What was the trade-off, though? Trade-off was a Scoop Up Net. That was a tough choice there from Joe. But I don't love it. Because Raikou's just so popular in builds right now. Manaphy gone, there's going to open up a lot of opportunity for Demetrius, though, in this matchup. Yeah, getting rid of the Manaphy there is rough there from Joe. Yeah, and like I said, hitting with Cram is kind of irrelevant into the Luminion because then theoretically it just gets shuffled back into the deck anyway, so who cares? Gives up on the energy for the trade-off of the Ray. Has a Comfey, can retreat into Comfey and dig a little bit deeper, and I think you got to do that here as Joe. Primate Wisdom first, so play in Protect. Joe is still doing that thing where he's like protecting cards, right? This means when you use this next Comfey, you 100% lost on the Comfey. But I don't love this from Joe because now you see -1 card. Imagine if the next card on the top of Joe's deck is a Colress. Now Joe just doesn't get to see that card. So I'm not a huge fan of that play from Joe. Also, like Joe knows their hand is like not great, and double Comfey is something you generally want to play in most scenarios. So if you're like, okay, if I'm going to not attack this turn, which is possible, if I don't see the Colress, I'm not attacking here. If Joe's thinking that, then you're like, okay, I'm going to pass with a Comfey in my active, and then Demetrius is going to KO my Comfey, and then I'm going to send up a Comfey, and then I don't have a second Comfey to then chain with. And you're like, oh, wait, this kind of sucks. I don't have 2 Comfeys now. So what I would have liked to have seen there from Joe is don't Primate Wisdom, use the Comfey, just take the L if you take an L on the a bad flower selecting, and then if there's no Colress between that plus the Primate Wisdom, you just bench the 3rd Comfey, and it's like, okay, when you knock out my active Comfey, and I still have 2 Comfey in play. I do like the Ray bench here. You want to be pretty aggressive with that because once again, if Demetrius has another Marty next turn, it's going to be hard to find your Pokemon. So I do like the Ray bench here from Joe. Just be aggressive with that. I like it. So Luminion attack coming in for Demetrius for sure. Our second Archeops to the discard pile. Double Archeops back into play here. I don't like the attachment of this Aurora energy, though, I don't think. Because now we're going to go Archeops for 1 energy. You could have put this Aurora energy on the Snorlax instead. Could have put the Aurora energy on the Snorlax instead. And then you could Archeops for 2 energy to the Luminion. And then Archeops for 2 energy to the Lugia. But now we're just getting -1 energy out of our deck this turn. Which is just... That's -1 energy. Of course, you do want the Aurora energy in the deck. To make sure you have enough for the Raikou, but you should have already checked your prize cards here as Demetrius. See, now we're just going -1 energy in play overall here as Demetrius for no reason. We want more energy in play, not less energy in play. Second Lugia. So, just loading up 6 on the... Why? Why don't we put some energy... Why don't we load something up in play here? There's always a possibility that Joe could KO one of your Archeops. Like, that's a possibility here. Like, Joe plays boss. Joe could go boss KO and Archeops next turn. And now if you have 6 energy, like why not put some energy in play here as Demetrius? I would like to see 2 energy on the Lugia. Also discards the Guru here. Discarding the Guru might be fine. I think that was a great Pokemon to send up though after we use Luminion. The Snorlax might be a little bit better though, to be honest. The Snorlax might be a little bit better. Because if you do the Guru does get KO'd by Goon plus Cram. If you send up the Snorlax here as Demetrius as your send up after Luminion, that's a pretty tough Pokemon for Joe to deal with, to be honest. Joe doesn't have a great answer to punching Snorlax. The Guru does let you play around Escape Rope a little bit better, though. So, like, a play that could happen here from Joe on the next turn could be, like, you know, bench Raikou and then play Escape Rope. And now, like, an Escape Rope here is super good for Joe. Like, an Escape Rope is insanely good. So maybe benching the Guru. So if you bench the Guru, though, Then all of a sudden, Joe could go like Raikou, hit the Snorlax, and then hit 120 on the Guru. But the hit on the Snorlax doesn't matter too much because you can't use Sableye later to KO it. But Escape Rope here is super good for Joe now. If Joe can find an Escape Rope play. Still has to find a Colress probably first to make anything happen, but it is possible. Hey, there's a Oh my gosh, I was right! Yes! Let's go! Joe's top deck was a Colress, so if he hadn't Primate Wisdomed and had saved the Primate Wisdom to see +1 card, we would have had a Colress last turn, which would have opened up more possibilities for this turn. Yeah, I got really hyped for that. I love to see the punish. You love to see the punish. Joe got punished. Didn't Primate Wisdom. Let's get it. Oh, clean Colress, though. 2 VIP passes to the loss, and we're at 7. Gate is online. Let's see what Joe can do here. But this is really awkward. This KOing Snorlax here is really, really bad for Joe. So you definitely want to see the Escape Rope happen. But with the hand that Joe currently has, I don't know if anything is going to happen, to be honest. This hand sucks for Joe. This hand is just bad. We'll see here, though. Joe's thinking. Has Primate Wisdom to work with as well, so it could put the Lightning back if they needed to. We'll see if Joe gets punished here. No, has Lightning Grass. Okay, check the prize cards. Did the math. I think we're going to see Ray KO Snorlax here, which is... that's a Bizzle. Do you ever select before Colress? Nope. You always Colress. If you're going to Colress on the turn, you always Colress first. If you think you might want to play a different supporter, then you would Comfy first. Like if a certain sequence of cards would lead you to playing Boss or Raihan, then you could Comfy first. But also, another thing to take note, Joe drew back into the air balloon, which you definitely don't want to see here as Joe. You definitely don't want to draw back into the air balloon here. You would have liked to have already have that set up in play. You don't see it ever again. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, Comfy happening. Ooh, gets rid of the net, but I think it's in exchange for a gate. It's a pretty good trade-off. You got plenty of stuff to do here. Trading Court comes down, recovers the fighting. Love to see it. Trading Court really powerful in this raid deck up against Lugia because Lugia doesn't play as many answers to stadiums as they have in the past. Second Comfy making its way down, but this is looking like some prime Raihan on top. I like this Primate Wisdom, protect the Raihan at the end of the turn. Maybe I would have liked, I don't know if I like the Raihan. I think I would like to have seen a gate be put on top. I almost like the gate a little bit more. Combo that with a Colress on the next turn if you get Marnied. I almost is what I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, to be honest. I don't know. It's close. Gets the Colress off the prize cards, though. Yeah, but that's a super inefficient knockout for the Rayquaza. That was a ton of resources Joe had to put into play to deal with that Snorlax. A super inefficient trade-off there for Joe. We'll see if they can recover from that, to be honest, because that's like maximum inefficiency. Okay, 100% should see the Raikou grab here from Demetrius, I think. Is Iron up to Lumidian, so they might not have a supporter in hand. I'm curious to see what the rest of the hand is, to be honest. But, yeah, I would go with... I mean, Stoutland or Raikou here is pretty good. I think you go with the Raikou, though. The Raikou is also tough for... Actually, the Raikou is easy for Joe to answer, to be honest. Joe can answer the Raikou with... Actually, I don't know if I do like the Raikou here, then. If you could go Stoutland as Demetrius. Maybe you save the Stoutland for your last 2 prize cards, though, here as Demetrius. That actually might be the play. You try and save Stoutland for the last 2. Yeah, you might just try and make that work here. All right, hard to treat into the Raikou. I think you should probably attach a Heat. See, once again, I don't like Demetrius just not getting energy ahead of, like, getting energy in play ahead of time. Like, double turbo to the Lugia or the Heat energy on a Archeops for a pivot. Like, I just don't like Demetrius playing this so slow. Like, get out your deck, get energy in play, give yourself some more options going into future turns. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean, Joe doesn't play hand disruption, but still, I still think like the double turbo to the Lugia at the very least should happen out of the hand. I don't know. It feels incorrect to not do that. Like I always want to be like as developed of a board state as possible, so you can deal with as many weird situations that Joe could represent as possible. Okay, so Stoutland is still left with 4 powerful energy. I actually think Joe should scoop here. I think Joe should concede and go to... he attached energy to Archeops. Oh, that's true. He did attach energy to Archeops. Okay, I'm just kind of rambling then. My bad. He captured to Archeops to get the Raikou. Yeah. Okay, my bad. Okay, Greninja grab from Joe. Wait, I think that might even be... I think it's a mistake there from Joe, because had the Cram... Joe could have taken Cram... and Cram KO's Raikou. How is Joe KOing this Raikou now? I don't actually like this play. Azul's 0-2 on Demi's Archeops use. Well, no, the other one I was still correct on, I think. The other one I was still correct on. Yeah, how is Joe KOing this Raikou? Why didn't we... I think Joe should have taken the Cram there. I have no idea how Joe is going to KO this Raikou. It's going to have to be another super inefficient attack. But maybe Joe wants to attack with a Raikou here themselves. Maybe Joe's like, okay, I'm going to get through this Raikou with my own Raikou. And I'm going to set up some damage on the bench, and we're going to go from there. I was thinking we could take Cram there and knock out the Raikou. I don't think there's ever a good play here from Joe, though, to be honest. Like, all the plays seem pretty bad. I think Joe should just concede and go to the next game, to be honest. And go first, get a better start, and go from there. You can't excel them to anything else, otherwise Raikou can't use them. He needs to take the... Oh, wait, I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, Slap. I have no idea, because I have no idea what that sentence means that you just said. I just can't tell. All right, Colress here from Joe. And like I said, I think Joe should concede. I think we should go to game 2. I think we should just move along. Double training court, actually, from Joe here. Probably lost zoning the Colress. Also decides to lost on the grass. Rope Raikou attack. Oh, Rope Raikou is good here. Actually, you're right. Yeah, Rope Raikou is good here. I forgot. That is like a reasonable out, actually. Rope Raikou is a reasonable out. Has Quick Ball. Actually, might have the play, to be honest. Has Quick Ball, but use Colress so it doesn't have Raihan. Switch card into the Sableye. We are at 11 in the loss zone, so we can go Psychic. We can knock out the Raikou. And then put, I don't know, I think the 10 damage probably just doesn't matter, to be honest. He puts Auroras on Fish so he can't research into them, and then can shuffle them back into the deck for Raikou later. No, because still could have ended with 2 Aurora on the... I don't think that's just not going to happen. You still end up with 2 Aurora on your... You still end up with 2 Aurora on your Fish, so 2 Auroras are going back to the deck no matter what. Because you don't attach to the Fish, which means you can still put 2 Aurora on it, and those will get shuffled back into the deck. I don't know, maybe setting up the extra energy like I want to see put in play just never makes any sense, but in my head it makes sense. Like, I don't know, putting more stuff in play seems good to me. Also, I think attacking with Lugia here as Demetrius is the correct play. I think sending up Lugia and attacking with Lugia here as Demetrius is the correct play. And you could even put Stoutland on your bench and like load up some powerfuls on that maybe. And then you just like knock out Sableye. And if you have quad powerful in the deck, like I'm pretty sure Demetrius does because we see their prize cards, I don't think they discarded any early. Then if the Rayquaza is the response to the Lugia, then the Stoutland comes up and knocks out and you just win the game. So, and once again, I think... but we could just see that. Oh no, but you could also just Stoutland this turn and you still win the game as well. No, never mind. I'm trolling. Demetrius just goes Stoutland this turn and then wins the game. Yeah, I'm trolling. Okay, and there's a scoop from Joe. Stoutland this turn also just wins the game here from Demetrius. I was like, I don't know what thought process I was going down with that one and this one, to be honest. That one and this one. You only have 3 prize cards left. Maybe I was thinking that they had 4. No, but yeah, I think Joe maybe should have scooped on that last turn, to be honest. When Joe whiffed the Raikou play, because yeah, I guess Raikou plus Escape Rope was still reasonable from Joe as an out. Okay, prize cards, double Aurora prized for Demetrius, so unless Demetrius plays the Speed Lightning, can't use Raikou. And then on Joe's side, the Orangaroo's prized, but does play Heavy Ball, of course, so could find it. Has a Lightning and a Metal prized, and a Sableye prized, and did open a Sableye, so... Nothing super relevant here, I think, from Joe. And now we get the turn 1 Greninja, which makes a huge difference in this deck. The Greninja, getting the Greninja out turn 1 makes a massive difference. So got the Greninja out. Doesn't have any energy, though. So no energy. Rebenches the Sableye, which I definitely don't like here from Joe. And I think Joe is I think Joe realized that was a mistake, benching the Sableye immediately back down. Definitely a mistake here from Joe to put the Sableye back into play immediately. Gets rid of the switch card, keeps the training court. I'm not sure I agree with that. The training court is very good, but you do play 2. So I'm not sure I agree with that here as Joe gets rid of another escape rope for the Chorus now in the hand. So that's a pretty good trade-off. But yeah, benching Sableye definitely should not be on the bench. When you got to get Manaphy down and you want to get Guru down, if you have double Comfy, Manaphy, Guru, Greninja, you only have 1 bench space for an attacker, so... Definitely think that's a mistake from Joe here. All right, over to Demetrius. Has an Ultra Ball. I think there's 1 Archeops biting the dust here. Maybe 2. I think they're using Ultra Ball, not Quick Ball. They could have Quick Balled. Oh, no, they want to get another Archeops here. I was like, they could have Quick Balled the Archeops. But no, Ultra Ball away the Archeops with the Quick Ball, get an Archeops, discard that Archeops, and then go from there. Yeah, we definitely need to see... Now Joe knows for sure that the Raikou's in the deck for Demetrius. We definitely need to see Joe prioritize the Manaphy. Okay, Luminion's coming down. Grabs a Marnie. Interesting choice there, honestly, from Demetrius. I don't know how big of a hand Joe had. I don't think Marnie is that. Apparently insufficient shuffling. There's a lot of... the judges have been calling out the insufficient shuffling a lot here on the stream so far. I don't think the Marnie is that. Interesting. So it goes with the Aurora on the Luminian. I don't hate it. Of course, this does mean there's going to be no... You definitely want to use it because it gets rid of the Archeops. But this means there will be no Read the Wind post Marnie. And we see Demetrius' hand is not great. So now if Joe can get this knockout on this Lugia, that puts Joe in a pretty good spot. I guess it also... Actually, I think that's just a misplay there from Demetrius. I think... Well, first off, I think a research would have been pretty good there. But I guess if you're really trying to conserve this Aurora energy by putting it on the bench, I think what Demetrius could have done instead is just get Marnie off Luminian and then just play the Marnie and then give themselves an option to draw into a second Lugia or potentially use Capture and then also give themselves the option of Read the Wind. I think Demetrius took away too many options at the trade-off of getting the second Archeops in the discard pile. With the one Archeops already in the discard pile, I think favoring potentially using Read the Wind is better there from Demetrius. So I don't like that. I don't like the Aurora on the bench. I think what we probably should have seen is just like get rid of that initial Archeops. Maybe even... Actually, I want to kind of go back and see the hand there from Demetrius. So what we could have seen, actually... is we could have seen Ultra Ball away Archeops. You know what? Honestly, there's also even just an argument to just use Birdkeeper here. Like, you could get the Marnie here, and then what if you just Birdkeepered into Luminian as Demetrius here? I guess you don't want a Luminian to get knocked out, but you also don't want your lone Lugia getting knocked out by a Raikou is worse than your Luminian getting knocked out. So what if you just Birdkeepered in here into Luminian as Demetrius? That would also invalidate the potential attack from a Cramorant from Joe. Then you don't get to play the Marnie. And the Marnie's like nice to play here. But I think what we could have also seen from Demetrius is Ultra Ball away the Archeops and the Birdkeeper. Get rid of Archeops and Birdkeeper. Get an Archeops. Quick Ball away the Archeops. Get the Luminian. Get the Marnie if we're set on playing the Marnie. And then we play the Marnie. And then we don't attach the Aurora. We get double Archeops in the discard pile. And then we leave open the option of the Capture energy still. And also leave open the option of Read the Wind to get two Lugia in play. But then also more importantly... or just as importantly, I guess, like get the Read the Wind off plus get the Capture energy. Because now if you just get Raikou here as Demetrius, you just lose. So I don't like that. I think we should have either you've done the Birdkeeper play to protect our lone Lugia V, or we should have left open the option of Capture energy. Wait a second. Does Demetrius have a Quick Ball in hand? I think Demetrius does have a Quick Ball in hand. Like, it's just not that unreasonable for Joe to get the KO here. I think Demetrius even has a Quick Ball in hand. Yeah, they do. So yeah, so Joe can just win here. Basically win here, but that draw is pretty rough so far. I do like the Quick Ball of the Quick Ball here, though, because Joe does have a Colress on the bottom of the deck, and I believe some Mirage Gates, so you need to find those. Quick Ball's a metal. The one card that you could grab here would be another Comfey. I wouldn't hate to see another Comfey get grabbed here. It does line up the Raikou, and obviously the Raikou is going to be pretty sick here, even if Joe has to end the turn with an Escape Rope, meaning that they don't KO the active Lugia V. Getting the KO on the Luminium plus 120 on the Lugia V is still pretty good, so I kind of like where Joe's at. Joe did discard the second Metal energy, though. Oh, but Joe probably has a Metal and a Lightning. Oh, but has the Training Cord in hand, so I guess it's still possible. Actually, that's just kind of awkward. Ooh, got the Scoop Up Net. That's good. Does need to find a Colress, though. Colress is going to be the key here for Joe to actually have a chance of getting off this attack. Oh boy, Heavy Ball and Zigzagoon, Sableye and Guru Prize, but I think you actually need the Guru here to put the Lightning back into the deck here as Joe. Also, the Guru means you'll get to see +1 card here as Joe. Could Heavy Ball, doesn't have the Heavy Ball yet. We could see the Retreat to the Comfey first. We actually see the Quick Ball on the Heavy Ball, but then if we're Quick Balling Heavy Ball, we probably should have gotten Goon, so we could Quick Ball Goon and then have the option of the Goon later. So I don't like this choice here from Joe to Quick Ball the Heavy Ball. Heavy Ball for Guru, I actually think Joe needs to put like the Lightning energy back in the deck and then Training Core for the Metal energy and then get the Grass and the Lightning. So I think actually Joe is misplaying this sequencing here where Joe needs to actually get the Guru out of the prize cards. There's the Retreat. Here comes another Comfey, still looking for the Colress. It's still possible. If a Colress is found for Joe to pull this off, it's still possible. Currently sitting at 5, and I don't see a Colress. But if we had Guru here, we could Primate Wisdom the Lightning energy back into the deck, and then we could draw into it. There's Training Court. Gonna bump a Metal, attach to the Raikou, and then it might just be a pass here from Joe. A Cram hit here would be pretty decent as well, because that would set up for the Raikou to KO Lugia on the next turn. I do like the comfy bench here from Joe. And then I do like not playing the escape rope, because if you play the escape rope, it does give Demetrius an out to then shuffle the Lumineon back into the deck. Makes it easier. Okay. Over to Demetrius. Might have to settle for attacking with Lugia here. Definitely doesn't want to attack with Lugia here, but might have to go with it. I'm not sure. We haven't seen Manaphy or Dunsparce from Demetrius yet, so they might not play either. We see the capture coming down. Probably going to grab the Snorlax. I almost kind of like that Snorlax just being grabbed and put on the bench, to be honest. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. It's kind of like an awkward Pokemon for this build of Lost Box to deal with, I feel like, specifically. Because you have to commit so much for the knockout on, like, a Rayquaza. Like, the Snorlax is actually, like, really good in this matchup. I actually really like the Snorlax in this. I like that grab. Yeah, I don't know if Demetrius... Oh, no, there's a Manaphy in there. I do see the Manaphy from Demetrius. So, actually, to be honest, I maybe would have liked to see the Manaphy get grabbed a little bit better. Because attacking with Raikou here is pretty good for Joe. That's currently what Joe's lining up. It's possible that Joe still attacks with a Rayquaza and one-hit KOs your Lugia. But currently, Joe's lining up a Raikou. So, I think from Demetrius... I like the Snorlax, but it does look like Demetrius does play Manaphy, so... Has a boss, so I think he's definitely thinking about boss KO on the Raikou. I think you might as well. If you have any experience against Joe's deck, you know it can be difficult for Joe's deck to actually set up, like, find attackers. Yeah, Joe has a 3-card hand as well. I honestly think Demetrius should have KO'd the Raikou there. Also, I think should have probably got Manaphy. Yeah, I like both those things, to be honest. I like getting Manaphy. I like KOing the Raikou. I also like using the second Archeops to put one more energy in play somewhere. This time, I don't think Demetrius did use the second Archeops. Yeah, I would also like to see the second Archeops get used to put some energy in play somewhere. I might just be a little bit paranoid with that, though, personally. Maybe it's like a me thing. Maybe it's just like not correct ever. All right, another comfy. The question of, can Joe find Colress? Joe does find Colress, but it's at the cost of a Mirage Gate. Is that fine? I think that has to be fine. Joe's like agonizing over the decision, but I'm pretty sure Joe just has to take the Colress here. Does he hit the Lax with Raikou here? No, I'd probably pressure a... you almost always want to pressure the Archeops. Is that 7, though? That might be 7. I don't know if Joe has the energy in here to actually pull off a play. Grass to Raikou. Oh, has the Lightning in hand. And then, okay, the Psychic to the Sableye. Okay, so Ken actually... Yeah, the Mirage Gate... Oh, okay, that's why Joe went with the... I didn't think we were getting to 7 off of this. So Mirage Gate over Colress because we got to 7. Okay, I actually like that play from Joe. I didn't think we were getting to 7 off of that Comfy. That's a lot of Comfy uses so far. All right, net, send up the Raikou. We got the Lightning in the hand for Joe. No Manaphy yet, though. So this this potential Raikou from Demetrius on the turn is going to be pretty brutal. And yeah, if we had a Manaphy here from Demetrius, I don't know. That might have just been game. Because I don't think Joe was setting up a... No, Joe could have maybe set up a Rayquaza if you take the Colress instead, I guess. But yeah, Raikou going to be here pretty good from Demetrius. Can knock out the Raikou and could even actually target the Sableye, to be honest. But yeah, imagine if instead of the Snorlax, imagine if we had a Manaphy here from Demetrius. There might be a reason that Demetrius doesn't like going for it in this matchup, but I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. I'm pretty sure I saw the Manaphy from Demetrius as well. I could be trolling. It could not be in there. Well, let's see. Yeah, there's the Manaphy right there, right? I'm not trolling. I don't think I'm trolling. Am I trolling, chat? All right, Demetrius is going with the Stoutland play. Not sure I love that. I almost like the Raikou play a little bit better here, because if you go with Stoutland this turn as Demetrius, I think Demetrius is going to KO the Rayquaza here, though, from Joe. I think Joe's Rayquaza is going down to the Stoutland here, because Demetrius did hold the boss for a turn. So the Rayquaza goes down here, which is going to be pretty unfortunate for Joe. Maybe Joe shouldn't have... Oh, only put 3 on it, though. Okay. Maybe one has one in hand? Might have one in hand, actually. We got a powerful in hand here? There might be one. Okay. All right, yeah. So the Rayquaza is going down for sure here. And there's not going to be a great response to this from... Oh, wait. What? Am I trolling? Okay. Don't we have we still have a boss in hand here as Demetrius. Am I trolling? Am I not trolling? Like, okay, let's say as Demetrius... Let's say as Demetrius, you don't KO the Rayquaza. Or let's say you KO the Rayquaza and you leave the Raikou of Joe Bernard alive. Then Joe goes, what, 120 to your Stoutland, and then KO your Lugia, and then you just Stoutland again for 2 more prize cards. And I think the game is just over. But imagine this board state if Demetrius had just benched Manaphy. Like, imagine if Demetrius benches Manaphy over Snorlax. Well, I think the game's just over. I think the game literally just ends with that. I think the game just literally ends. I don't know why Manaphy didn't come down last turn for Demetrius, but this turn, I also didn't hate the boss KO Raikou last turn as well from Demetrius. I don't hate saving it with the idea of a Stoutland play. I also don't really like Stoutland that much here either, though, because if you Stoutland right now, can you risk boss the arc hitting other damage arc also? I'm pretty sure you can. I don't think you care. You have a Lugia pretty much set up, and you have Stoutland drawing 2 more prize cards. So you just go attach to Lugia, and then Stoutland for 2, you have 1 prize card left, and you go attach to Lugia, win. Or if they don't KO Stoutland, you just win with Stoutland. So you just win the game. You win the game if they KO both Archeops anyways. Yeah, I also don't like attacking with Stoutland over Raikou here. Oh, no, wait, hold up. Demetrius can't attack with Raikou here because Demetrius prize double Aurora energy. Okay, that makes sense to attack with Stoutland over or what's called here. Well, I don't know if it makes sense to attack with Stoutland here, but you can't attack with Raikou here. Raikou here would have been insanely good, but the reason Demetrius can't attack with Raikou here is because Demetrius prize to Aurora energy, so that's fine. I even have the prize cards right there. It's a little bit hard to remember them when I'm not in the game myself, but... Okay, Colress here for Joe. First Colress of the game. Unfortunate for Joe. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, a lot of good cards there. Manaphy is also good. Joe realizes that. He's thinking about the Manaphy grab, but you also have to try and attack with Rayquaza here. The rest of Joe's hand is double battle VIP pass and escape rope, so that's not good. Thinking about getting rid of the boss, but the boss is also very good. Gets rid of boss and Raihan. See, how many prizes does Joe have left? Joe's got a lot of prize cards left. So Joe could draw 3 prize cards this turn, but would not be able to draw 3 prize cards on the next turn. So Joe has to KO the Stoutland, or I'm pretty sure Joe just loses. Here comes a Greninja. I'm pretty sure Joe's looking for like Recycler plus energy. Finds Rod and Gate. Here comes the Rod for Grass and Fighting. What is the attack cost on... Thinking about not getting the Raikou. Just going to go for the Grass and the Fighting. What is the attack cost on... Got something else, actually. I don't know what they got, though. They didn't get the Raikou, but I'm pretty sure they grabbed a 3rd card there. Okay. Mirage Gate. What's it? Grass Fighting... I just completely forget. It's Grass Fighting something. Okay, so Joe's literally looking for Training Court, I think. Was it Grass Fighting Metal? What the heck is this thing attack with? Grass Fighting... Oh, Grass Fighting Lightning. There we go. I got it. Thanks for the help, chat. So Joe's going to look for Training Court off of this next Comfy here. It has to be Training Court off this Comfy for Joe. Here we go. I don't think anything but Training Court does it, and I think Joe would have instantly taken Training Court if there was a Training Court. So now I'm pretty sure Joe just loses, because you could attack with Sableye this turn, but if you attack with Sableye this turn, you draw 3 prize cards, but then Stoutland survives a turn, and 1 more use of Archeops happens from Demetrius. So gets rid of the Cram, has a Colress. As an escape rope, so maybe you can play escape rope here, and then Demetrius messes up. But now Demetrius knows that the Stoutland's not going down, so you probably just send up the damaged Archeops, to be honest. I think I would just send up damaged Archeops here if I was Demetrius. Luminion's not bad either, I guess, but I think I would just send up damaged Archeops here. Yeah, because it has to be Sableye from Joe. Like, the only thing Joe here can do here is Sableye. And then Sableye, KO Archeops, plus KO the Lugia to get some prize cards, probably is the only play that Joe can go for. And yeah, here we go. Lost Mine. Goodbye, Chops. Goodbye, Lug. How much more do we got left? We got 3, 4, 7. So we got 5 left. I don't know, man. 5 left. I'd put 3. No, so it goes with 1. Oh, okay. I see what Joe's got here. We got 5 on the Luminion now. So with 5 on the Luminion, you could go Raikou, KO Archeops, KO Luminion. As long as Demetrius sees that, though, Demetrius can put Manaphy in play and I think just win the game. Can load up the Snorlax. So Demetrius can go load up Snorlax. Could even go boss, to be honest. Could load up Snorlax. Could boss KO the Rayquaza with the Stoutland. I think that would probably just win the game. Boss KO Rayquaza with Stoutland. Load up Snorlax. And then also bench Manaphy. Unless I'm just tripping this whole time and there's actually not a Manaphy in Demetrius's deck. But I'm pretty sure there is. That was it, right? We just saw. I'm pretty sure that was it. I'm pretty sure. Here comes the Ultra Ball. Getting rid of the boss. Oh, has another boss. So could still go boss or Marnie here. We'll see. We'll see if they want to go with Boss on the Rayquaza or Marnie KO. There's the Manaphy. So this should lock up the game here. Statling comes up. Whether it KOs the Rayquaza or the Sableye doesn't really matter. If you KO the Rayquaza, Joe needs to set up more. And if you KO the Sableye, it allows you to Marnie for the turn. So it goes with the Marnie play, which I think both are fine. Yeah, settles for the Marnie play, which is whatever. Yeah, I think Marnie or Boss, that's a tough call. I don't think it matters. I think Demetrius wins this game 100% of the time, one way or the other. So it shouldn't matter. One of them is, I like to follow that up always with like, one of them is correct. It is either correct to Boss or it is correct to Marnie here. Joe didn't have a great turn on the last turn. Joe does play 2 Air Balloon. That's actually wild to me. That's not that crazy, but it's like kind of crazy that Joe's playing 2 Air Balloon. Okay, there's the swing. Yeah, and Joe's going to go ahead and pack it up. So not great draws from Joe, to be honest, but I also think some mistakes there from Joe as well. I think there was definitely some better plays that could have been made from Joe for sure. So not a great draw from Joe, but I also think definitely some mistakes. I think there was a couple things Demetrius could have done a little bit differently as well, but pretty clean from Demetrius for sure. I don't think I have anything else to say about this one.